Basic principle supply chain management. Supply chain management is management of the flow of goods, data, and finances related to a product or service, from the procurement of raw materials to the delivery of the product at its final destination. Supply chain activities span procurement, product lifecycle management, supply chain planning, including inventory planning and the maintenance of enterprise assets and production lines, logistics, which includes transportation and fleet management, and order management. SCM can also extend to the activities around global trade, such as the management of global suppliers and multinational production processes. The history of supply chain management. Supply chains have existed since ancient times, beginning with the very first product or service created and sold. With the advance of industrialization, SCM became more sophisticated, allowing companies to do a more efficient job of producing and delivering goods and services. For example, Henry Ford's standardization of automobile parts was a game changer that allowed for the mass production of goods to meet the demands of a growing customer base. Over time, incremental changes, such as the invention of computers, have brought additional levels of sophistication to SCM systems. However, for generations, SCM essentially remained a linear, siloed function that was managed by supply chain specialists. The internet, technology innovation, and the explosion of the demand-driven global economy has changed all that. Today's supply chain is no longer a linear entity. Rather, it's a complex collection of disparate networks that can be accessed 24 hours a day. At the center of these networks are consumers expecting their orders to be fulfilled when they want them, the way they want them. We now live in a time of unprecedented global business and trade, not to mention continual technology innovation and rapidly changing customer expectations. Today's best supply chain strategies call for a demand-driven operating model that can successfully bring people, process, and technology together around integrated capabilities to deliver goods and services with extraordinary speed and accuracy. How does supply chain management work? According to CIO by Bart Perkins and Thomas Wilhelm, there are 5 components of traditional supply chain management systems. First, planning. Plan and manage all resources required to meet customer demand for a company's product or service. When the supply chain is established, determine metrics to measure whether the supply chain is efficient, effective, delivers value to customers, and meets company goals. Second is sourcing. Choose suppliers to provide the goods and services needed to create the product. Then, establish processes to monitor and manage supplier relationships. Key processes include ordering, receiving, managing inventory, and authorizing supplier payments. Third is manufacturing. Organize the activities required to accept raw materials, manufacture the product, test for quality, package for shipping, and schedule delivery. Next is delivery and logistic. Coordinate customer orders, schedule deliveries, dispatch loads, invoice customer, and receive payment. The last one is returning. Create a network or process to take back defective, excess, or unwanted products. Industry 4.0 and SCM. Today's application of radical new technologies to manufacturing has been dubbed Industry 4.0, or the Fourth Industrial Revolution. In this latest iteration of industrialization technologies such as AI, machine learning, the Internet of Things, automation, and sensors are transforming the way companies manufacture, maintain, and distribute new products and services. It can be said that Industry 4.0 is built on the supply chain. In Industry 4.0, the way enterprises apply technology to the supply chain is fundamentally different from how they applied in the past. For example, within the maintenance function, enterprise would typically wait until a machine malfunctioned to fix it. Smart technology has changed that. We cannot predict failure before it happens and then take steps to prevent it so that the supply chains can continue uninterrupted. Today's SCM is about using technology to make the supply chain and the enterprise smarter. Industry 4.0 SCM also provides significant advantage over traditional SCM because it enables aligned planning and execution, while at the same time delivering substantial cost savings. For instance, companies that operate under a plan-to-produce model in which product production is linked as closely as possible to customer demand must create an accurate forecast. That involves juggling numbers inputs to ensure that what is produced will meet market demand without exceeding it, avoiding costly overstocks. Intelligent SCM solution can help you meet customer demands and financial objective at the same time. Today, SCM is all about the customer. SCM has historically been about increasing efficiency and reducing costs. Although those needs haven't changed, what has changed is that the customer is now playing a front and center role in setting SCM priorities. It's been said that customer experiences live and die in the supply chain. Customer loyalty is predicted on an enterprise being able to quickly and accurately fulfill customer expectation. Raw materials, manufacturing, logistic and trade and order management must all be coordinated to get a given item to the customer within a reasonable time frame. To accomplish this, companies must look at their supply chains through their customer eyes. It's not simply about getting the order to the customer on time. It's about doing everything at the right time before, during, and after order delivery. Supply chains and their need for agility. Today's supply chain is broad, deep, and continually evolving, which means that it must be agile to be effective. In the past, supply chains met enterprise and customer needs through a beginning-to-end model that was largely unaffected by change. Consumers now have multiple choices in how they purchase products in stores, online, and more. They've also come to expect increasing level of customization. An agile supply chain can deliver on those expectations. Not only that, supply chain sourcing has become very fluid. For example, geopolitical and economic development can substantially impact the manufacturing supply chain. If a manufacturer needs aluminum and can't get it from one supplier due to a trade policy, that manufacturer must be able to quickly pivot to source the aluminum elsewhere. The ability to rapidly reconfigure your supply chain is essential to successfully addressing this type of scenario. Agility is crucial to achieving this type of real-time reconfiguration. Challenges in the supply chain extend beyond efficiency and cost management issues. Changing circumstances can impact regulatory compliance as well. Your SCM system must be flexible enough to mitigate all the impacts that are generated by changes in the supply chain, including changing and varied regulatory requirements. An intelligent SCM system can help you be more efficient and reduce costs while remaining compliant with a variety of ever-changing legal mandates. The future of SCM. The supply chain of the future is all about responsiveness and the customer experience, understood and managed within a network rather than a linear model. Every node of the network must be attuned and flexible to the needs of the customer, while also being capable of addressing factors such as sourcing, trade policies, modes of shipment, and more. Advanced technology will increasingly be used to improve transparency and visibility throughout this network, as well as to further enable connectivity and SCM utilization. The entire SCM planning function will become more intelligent to take consumer demands into account. The ability to adapt will be a mandate. In the past, supply chain planning has been a periodic business exercise. Heading into the future, it will be continuous. Future SCM system will also bring tighter alignment between planning and execution, which is not a current state for the most enterprises. The need for speed and accuracy in SCM is only going to increase. Make sure your supply chain is ready for the future by supporting it with an intelligent SCM system. Ini materinya. Hati-hati. Please take care.
Okay, see you on the top.
Yes.